maybe like this month. Maybe it's going to be a 2025 thing. Wouldn't that be fun? All right, let me see if we're actually transmitilating over here. It looks good. I see my arm moving, so that's a good sign. Hopefully everybody made the switch to a little bit earlier and will be joining us soon. Okay, so it is the 16th of January. We are having our Thursday after lunch bunch. Hey, Rosie, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I switched everything to horizontal, and then when I went live, it says you need to switch to horizontal. Okay, I thought I did. So, anywho, hey, Sherry, hi, Judy. Appreciate you guys coming. So here's our card for today. Also, I appreciate you switching your schedule up for me today. I'm trying to pretend to be healthy, and I want to do a Pilates class at 1:30 today. And so I needed to, I also didn't want to come back because some days when I get done with Pilates, my arms and hands are kind of shaking. And I thought that would be not a great way to do a video. So appreciate you. Hey, Marva. Hi, Susan. Hi, Karen and Brooke. Appreciate you guys coming. So today we have a fun fold card. This is a triple front flap card, and it opens like yay so that you can see on the inside. And my sentiment is time to celebrate. And you could, using the Beautiful Butterflies set, which is the basis for this card, you could put happy birthday. You could put hello on the front. You could put happy birthday on the inside so that it would be a celebrate card for birthdays. But I thought I would leave it blank in case I needed it for other uses. So you have the option to do whatever. But it starts with some beautiful bouquet. That's B-O-K-E-H. B-O-K-E-H, Bokeh, DSP. And then the Beautiful Butterflies stamp set and dies make some of these butterflies. And I have also used some of the floral and gingham vellum from the annual or the mini catalog right now as the secondary piece of our butterflies. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I have all of the card cuts on my blog for tomorrow, so you don't even need to take notes. You can just watch. You can just watch. Or you can take notes if you prefer. I don't care. It's up to you. Okay, I've got all these things cut, so let me set them aside. I'm going to start with my Simply Scored tool. You could also use your paper trimmer. You just extend the arm out, but it gets a little bit crowded here on my desk with my computer sitting here and my stand over here. So you know what I'm saying. So here we go. I have a 5.5 by 8.5 inch of pecan pie cardstock, and I'm going to score it twice. Once at 2 1/8 inches and one at 6 3/8 inches. And that's it. So basically, if you weren't thinking about it, you would call this the beginning of a gate card, correct? Yes. Yes, Mary, is the answer you guys were probably saying to yourselves. All right, we're going to go ahead and fold these and give them a little burnish. And the rest is really just kind of cutting up pieces of DSP, cutting out butterflies, all of which I've done, and adhering them. Okay, so you can see, looks like a gate card. Looks like a gate card, acts like a gate card. Dee 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 dee. Okay, now, of course, because I am batting 1,000 today, and I've been up a really long time, I did not cut a piece for the inside. So let me grab that right quick. I'll get us a piece of white cardstock. Is that how it's going to be today? Okie dokie. All right. I was so proud of myself because Wayne had an early morning appointment for a quick test at the hospital. And I thought, oh, I didn't sleep good. So I thought, well, I'll just get up. That was a mistake because I didn't do anything useful except get the cardstock for this ready, which, as we can see, wasn't really great. So let's go ahead and do the inside first, just so that we're not fussing with it. On the inside, I am going to stamp the detailed butterfly in Daffodil Delight ink. He's got this large detailed butterfly. We're going to stamp him in the corner. Okay, and then you know what? Since I'm here and I am nothing if not hyper efficient, I'm going to go ahead and do my envelope at the same time, like so. That's the last time we need that guy. And then I am going to take my Berry Burst, and there's a cute little dots image in the set. And I am going to use it to stamp around the butterfly. And what I did, I came up with this kind of by accident, but I liked it, so I did it everywhere. Once you do it once by accident and you like it, you should just do it again, right? Okay, so I stamped once, and then I just barely moved the image and stamped again. So you get this like double look. And I kind of like it. So stamp once, move the image a little bit, and stamp again. Like so. And then we'll do the same around this one. Yes, it's true. You know how I found this out. I got a bad image on my sample, and I tried to restamp it, and I didn't get it lined up. So I had this little, you know, I had this little shadow effect, and I thought, oh my goodness, that's a happy, happy surprise right there. Okay, so let's put this on the inside of our card base. Using a little liquid glue. Now, y'all do realize that even though I use liquid glue because I like it, when I use liquid glue, you could use Stampin' Seal for the most part, certainly for these large panels. When I use liquid glue for little tiny bits, I recommend you go with the liquid glue or a glue dot. But anytime I'm using the liquid glue for a panel, you could use Stampin' Seal. Okay, you just don't want a dimensional is what I'm saying. Okay, so there's the inside of our card base. And now we're going to take some pieces of the beautiful Bokeh DSP, blah, 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 blah. Sorry. And I have a couple of pieces in Berry Burst and one piece in Fresh Freesia. That's going to be our centerpiece. And then two longer pieces for the side panels. And we're going to go ahead and put those on right now. Hey, Bobby, how are you? From Virginia. I'm guessing you guys are chilly like we are. It was very cold. I fed this morning at 5:45. And Katie was like, you're really early, which she likes better than really late. But, you know, we were going to get home like maybe at 8:30, maybe at 9. And I thought, no, I'm not going to want to have to rush in case something happens and it takes us a little longer. You know how those things are. They tell you what time your procedure is, and then it's like, well, we're going to be a little later than we thought. Oh, cool. We don't have anything going on. Our time means nothing. We got it. Okay. So let's do the other side. So I fed her early. And have you guys seen, there's like 7 planets going to line up. And I'm pretty sure I saw 3 of them in a row this morning. It was beautiful outside because this was a big old, almost full or just past full moon. And it was gorgeous. It just was really cold. But I could see those planets, I think. Pretty sure I could. If I didn't, don't tell me. I enjoyed thinking that as I was going out to feed. You know what? I'm going to put that. I did not get that on at all well, did I? No, I did not. Let me see if I can pick that up now. I don't like it. Let's see. There we go. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I think I can. I think I can. I can do it enough to pull it over. There we go. All right, I'm happier with that. Okay, now for these pieces, the first thing I want to do is stamp my sentiment on this Fresh Freesia piece. And I am going to do that in Blackberry Bliss. Now, y'all hold your breath because Blackberry Bliss is one of those, it's always just a miracle if I don't get it all over myself, all over my card base, all over every other thing that I don't want it on. So y'all hold your breath. Now, I know I want to put a butterfly and some images here, so I'm going to push it down right to the bottom right corner as best I can do. Get a good image there. Good. And do let Blackberry Bliss dry for a few seconds extra, because these dark saturated colors can take a little extra time to dry, and you can end up with an ink catastrophe. Okay. Now, I know that I have 3 pieces that are going to look like this. Let's put these mats out the way because we don't need them. And I'm going to go ahead. I know where I'm going to put my butterfly. So I'm going to stamp some of these little guys in Berry Burst to give just a little bit of fun dimension and depth before we get everything put together. Okay. So we'll just kind of go like this and like that. And I'm good. They're just going to be kind of around where my butterflies are. And I'm making a heck of a mess right there. All right. And then I'll do the same on this piece. Oops. Like that. Once we get done with this, we can do the fun stuff, which is make butterflies. All right. And where these go is just not that critical. You're just kind of putting them around. About the only thing I would say is you kind of want to be able to see them. So kind of keep them spread apart and don't be shy about putting them, you know, stamping them. I would rather in this instance have a few too many little dots than not enough dots. Yes, Susan, it is very juicy and it is takes a minute. Okay. So let's go ahead and adhere these to our little mats with our glue, which could also be Stampin' Seal. And I am going to put them on the card front before I put my butterflies on, and I will tell you why. And just look at that. You see that? I have it all over me. I do. I have it everywhere on me. And I think it's not wet, but it is. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, where did that smudge come from? Oh, there is where it came from. Because you're a pigger. All right, here we go. I do like, you know, I'm not going to kid you. This Berry Burst is not my favorite color. I was not ecstatic to see it come back. I know there were a lot of people who like it a lot, but I wasn't ecstatic when it came back. But it really definitely has a place on your shelf, and it has a time and a place to be used, and it is spectacular with Daffodil Delight, and it works really perfectly with Fresh Freesia. Just saying. So there you go. Okay, now to create our card front, what you do is we're going to just close up our gatefold and line these up. And what I'll do sometimes, just to make my life a little easier, is I'll put a block there to hold it closed. Okay, and then this is going to go in the center, and then this is going to go down here. And what you're kind of wanting to do is just kind of distribute them evenly on the card front. Now, I suppose you could get a little bit het and you could measure, but no, I'm not going to do that. So here's how I recommend. Find the center with your little doohickey right there, and then kind of split the difference here and split the difference there, and you should be good. Here's the only trick with this card. You only want to adhere this side of this strip, this side of this strip, and this side of this strip. If you do them all, you're still going to have a three something or other, but it isn't going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. Okay, so that is my tip to you today. Now, to make my card, I know I want just this side, so I'm going to go a little less than halfway across. Okay, and then I'm going to line it up and kind of get the same surround on the edges. Okay, and then that can sit like this, and then I'll do the same down here. Again, just about halfway. You obviously could lay it on there and open everything up and make a pencil line, but you just don't need to get that hit. The glue will squish, so that's why you're staying short of the halfway line, because you want glue in here, but you don't have to use a lot, right? So this is another case of where the liquid glue is, it squishes, yay, and it squishes, ugh. Okay, so find the difference in there. Be like Goldilocks. Now, on this one, we only want the glue over here, so I'm holding it like that. And again, I'm just going to put a light little bit, and I'm not even going halfway. It will squish to hold. And then I'm just going to split the difference between the top and the bottom strip, make my edge look about right compared to the other two. And there we go. And there you have your 3 front flap card. Okay, now it's just time to decorate. So I'm going to let that sit and dry, and we're going to make some butterflies, shall we? All right, now there are 2 little dies that make the cutest butterflies on the planet in the Beautiful Butterflies Hybrid. Now, this also has an embossing folder, which I did not use. Let me show it to you just a second. I will show it to you as soon as I see it in my case. Well, maybe I will. Here we go. So this butterfly right here, this is the Butterflies Hybrid Embossing Folder, and you'll see that there is a die that cuts out this butterfly when you place the die inside the folder with your cardstock, and then you can run it through and it will cut and emboss those wing details, all right? But we didn't need that for this time. But you do get it. When you buy the bundle, you do get the embossing folder. All right. So what I did is I used these little dies right here, and I cut out 3 in Berry Burst and 2 in Daffodil Delight. And then I cut 5 from that Floral and Gingham Vellum. Okay, and those are going to be like their little top slips. And then I also cut the little bodies in Berry Burst and Daffodil Delight. Okay, so now we're just going to assemble. It's just a matter of gluing. When you are putting your butterflies together, I like to kind of roll the vellum in my fingers to give that just a little bit of depth. Put just the tiniest bit of liquid glue, and you can do that on this because we're going to cover that center section with a body. And I cut the body in the same color as the wings. That made sense to me in my head. Obviously, the other option is you could cut all the bodies in basic black or maybe even early espresso if that made you feel better about your butterflies. But I liked them in Berry Burst. And give that a little roll and a little roll, and then let it set aside to dry. And then, you know, rinse and repeat. Except don't rinse anything. Don't rinse anything. That would be crazy. All right. Now, if you are adhering vellum and you don't have something to cover it with, try using glue dots, and the flatter you keep them, the more hidden they are. And I can assure you that you probably won't see them. The other nice thing about the Floral and Gingham Vellum, of course, is that it has a design, so you can usually hide your glue dots behind the design. Will you please straighten up and fly right, Flutterby? All right, we're just going to repeat that a few times. Like this. It does take the glue a second to get its act together and hold, but it's not terrible. And one more, and then we'll do 2 Daffodil Delights, and we'll be ready to roll. Ready to put it on our card front. Yeah, baby. Now, I'll tell you what, the hardest part about this was deciding where to put the butterflies, because I wanted them to look like they were flying like real butterflies. You know, real butterflies made out of cardstock and vellum. Yeah. CM wings. CM wings. Get a grip, Flutterby. Let's see, did I miss anything? No. Oh, there we go. Yes, Cindy, what Rosie said is accurate. I have an appointment at 1:30 today, so I'm early today. But I might move it a little earlier in the future. It won't be for a minute, but if I did, I will certainly let you all know that for sure. Okay, and there's our Daffodil Delight, and we have una más. And we'll get these guys done. Early birds get the worms. Yes, that is also accurate. Okay. Now, I'm going to be messing with these a little bit, so I'm going to let them dry just a second, and while they are doing that, I'll make us our bow, and then we'll be ready to assemblize. Flutterbys, assemble! Okay, using some of the woven golden thread, which is back in the online store, by the way. So if you've been waiting for it, it's back. Okay, we're just gonna make a simple bow, not huge, not little, but somewhere in between Goldilocks. And here's what it's gonna do. This is how you can tell if you've got the right size. You're going to put one of your butterflies right over the top of it. So as long as you can see the loop, you're good to go. That's as big as you need. Very, very technical. Lots of measuring. Oh, Cindy, you had a busy day going on. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put these little guys on, and I'm going to go ahead and close this up, and I'm going to set them out where I want them so I can kind of arrange them. Now you can go over the top of your strip, but don't get outside the edges of your cardstock or your card base, or you'll have a problem. You will have a much harder time putting it in your envelope. I am certain of that. And on this little guy, you don't want any of his parts to extend up past that the top guy right there. Okay, so you're gonna have to play with him just a little bit like that. And then this guy will be down here. And you want him to make him look a little more like random and like butterflies in the wild. You don't want them all going the same direction, or everybody going that way, or, you know, two going that way and two going that way. You want them to kind of be a little bit different. That's the hardest part about arranging flutterbys right there, is making them all be just a little different when there's really only so many ways they can go, right? I mean, how many ways can a butterfly go on a card? Not that many ways, okay? So let's go ahead and do these easy ones to start with. You are just all over it. Oh, and guess what was on TV today on HBO? Amy, I'm sorry. I should have sent you a text because I know it wasn't Sound of Music, but it was close. It was Gone with the Wind. You'll be happy to know I allowed Finn to watch it while we were gone. He's a big boy. He can handle it. I was so excited to see it, I almost told Wayne he had to drive himself to his appointment, which would not have worked well because they wouldn't have done it. They'd have been like, where's your driver? Well, I'm Ubering. No, you can't do that. So I set it to record. Hopefully it will record on another time. This butterfly right here has the same restriction. You don't want his wings or his antenna to infringe upon that center strip, or you'll have a little bit harder time, like a lot harder time opening it and closing it. Okay, so let those go. Now, here's the dealio on this middle guy. He needs to be on dimensionals. Let's put this over here like that. He needs to be on dimensionals so that he will set over the top but still be adhered. So here's how I did it. If you come up with a better way to do it, that is awesome. What I did is I took a couple of little stripios of dimensional like that, and I literally put one little piece right on his head, like this. Is this a little persnickety? Yes, but it's so worth it. I mean, I think if you don't want to do this, well, I'm sorry. Okay, so I put one on his head like that, and then I put one down here like on his butt. Okay. And you can't see it. You won't be able to see it, I promise. I'll turn that around. That other side is a little narrower. I don't want to worry anybody. And there's a little tiny gap right there for your bow. So here's how I did this. Isn't that crazy? Thank you. Have not seen Gone with the Wind for years. It is one of the bestest movies ever. And Amy is silly. Amy's silly. So what I did is I took my glue and I put a little bit of glue right there, and then I adhered my bow with the glue right there. Now, that may not be the easiest way to do it, but it was the way that my brain told me to do it. because it made sense in my head when I did that. So I'm just going to hold that a second so that that glue can take. Okay. And then all I need to do is pick up the covers off of these dimensional guys. Who knew that would be the harder part? Come on. I'm holding my mouth just right and everything. Come on. There we go. And then you can pick up the whole thing, bow and all. It'll stick, I promise. Eventually it'll stick. Get him turned the way you want the bow. Okay. Get your card back, and then you can kind of adhere him like that so that you don't have butterfly. It's okay really if the bow is kind of past it because it'll kind of give and take, right? But you don't want the butterfly itself past it. And then we'll just give that a little pull, and then those a little go right there. And I'm going to make this be a little bit bigger. There's probably about 1,000 different ways to do this, and all 999 of them are probably easier than that way, as I think about that. But the whole point is to get the butterfly adhered over the top of the bow. So whatever you do to do that, you do it. Okay, all we have left to do now is put on some of my basic gray and smoky slate pearls. And I'm going to use the shiny ones right there like that. And we're gonna put one up here, and we'll put a couple. I'm gonna put 3, not that one. You see you get 2 sizes. I'm gonna put 2 down here. Sometimes the glue dots are not exactly centered under the pearls. Just fix it to be how you want. We'll put one here, and then kind of mimic the design down here. And then I used a couple more on the center, on the sentiment side, like so. Boom. And boom. One more boom, like that. I thought, you know, yes, I do have gold trim, but I like the silver with the color scheme, and I like, you know, you can do mixed metals all the time. All right. So there's our fold. And then the inside, remember we already did. So now I'm gonna, and see, you don't wanna, it's a little bit close for my antenna. So whoever gets this is gonna have to be a little careful, but it's not too bad. It's not horrible. It could be way worse. Then we're gonna take our already decorated envelope, and we're going to put our piece of DSP on here. Thank you, Laura. And tomorrow is another day. So fiddle-dee-dee. Yeah. There were really only 2 parts of that whole movie that I disliked very intensely. The first was when she beat the poor horse to death and he died in the shafts, going back to Tara, but it was a harder time. And I wasn't really pleased when Rhett shot the pony for not jumping a jump that he was too little to jump, because Bonnie Blue, parents have to watch their kids and their ponies. But other than that, I loved it. I had a very, very, very mad crush on Clark Gable. My parents took me to see that movie at the Amen Chinese Theater in Los Angeles approximately 1.2 million years ago. It was my first movie, probably the only movie I've ever been to that had an intermission, because it's like 4 hours long. And I was in love with Clark Gable from that moment on. Yep, it's true. All righto. There you go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. It is a fun little fold to do, and it's fun to decorate, especially with the beautiful butterflies set. We've still got Celebration going on, so you can purchase this and use it towards your $60 or your $120 for Celebration items. We also have a really good joining special going on, and I'd love to have you on the team if you are interested in, you know, getting a discount on everything and getting the stuff early. Let me know. All right, guys, I will see you on, yes, he was a hottie. Indeed, he was. I will see you on Saturday. Nope, I do not know what we're going to make, but I hope it'll be something that you enjoy. So we'll see you then. Have a great rest of your week, and thank you for spending part of Thursday with me. Thanks. Ta.